I'm only doing what I'm told.
I said I'd be molested.
He got tickled, he has too, you know. Okay, all right.
That was an intimate shot.
This is for the wanted posters, Mike, is it?
Okay. Stand up there and shake. Okay, James. Love it.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Right, Dick. Hold that open. You can hold it. Good man, good man.
Once a book seller, all of us a book seller.
Exactly. Love it.
Say that again?
Like rose of thorns.
Oh, you're dead right. A little serious thorns. Neither of us can argue with that, no. I have to be honest.
Pretty well fed thorns, you'll have to.
She has been over. Speak for yourself. I'll speak for you anyway, don't worry. Say something funny today. Yeah.
He got out of the Tribune before it closed.
Yeah.
That's funny enough, isn't it?
Indeed.
That's fine.
Come here, Margaret.
I was just back in the chair.
Yeah. I'll talk to you tomorrow, hopefully, about Sunday.
If everyone can see there or hear, maybe you're better where you are actually. And first of all, can I introduce myself? I'm Tim Johnston from Laurel Cottage. We're the publishers of Dick's book. On our behalf, I want to say thank you very much for all turning up tonight. It's lovely to see such a big crowd on a wet night, and when Connacht have got such an important game, I'm sure they'll miss your support. Speaking from Ulster at the bottom, the fellow occupants at the bottom of the table. I do hope you stuff London Irish. So anyhow, on with the motley, as they say. Our first contact with both Dick and Tom really was actually back at the start of the millennium, as they would say, perhaps. Back in 2000, whenever we were doing a book on Galway, which was in our main series of books, I would say, which are the illustrated coffee table books. Now we come down, and the way we approach these subjects is we go around and we would ask various people, bookshop owners, librarians, people that we consider would be knowledgeable in the field, and ask them for their advice on artists and authors. Usually it's a question of trying to wheedle some information out of them and dragging, kicking and screaming, etc. We come in and we spoke to Thomas here, and all of a sudden I was caught in a whirlwind, and I think I like to refer to it as the Galway Mafia. You come down with one set of ideas and you go away thinking, wasn't that a great idea? Oh no, that was Tom's idea. So anyhow, at that stage Tom introduced us to Dick, and known Dick ever since. Current book I've been talking about for 3 years, and again being nudged by Tom and by Dick. So it is very fitting that the launch is here tonight, and I would like on our behalf to say a big thank you to both of them. It's always a pleasure to work with professionals, but sometimes even more important, it's important to work with people that are good fun. And Tom and Thomas and Dick are both very much of that ilk. I would like to say thank you very much. And without any further ado, introduce Thomas again.
Thanks. This book by my old sparring partner Dick Byrne is called Tell Them Who You Are. Particularly apt title, I have to admit. It's a book actually that's full of warmth and affection and love, and it starts off with not exactly compact tributes, but an awful lot of tributes and respect for his grandfather, for his father, and for his mother. It was his grandfather, in fact, who gave him the advice, tell them who you are. and it's fair to say that Dickie Byrne has been telling everybody who he is ever since. The book starts off with his young childhood and to Westport, and then it comes back to Galway. And the initial part of the book is a kind of a to school through the fields of Salthill. It's full of nostalgia. It's based really primarily in Devon Park, but it's real inside track. For those foreign people who don't know Salthill or didn't know the Salthill of the days of the fields in Salthill, because it was mostly a green area, this is a very precious book, really. It introduces us to the shed, which was actually a builder's shed and store, but in fact, much more importantly, for as far as we're concerned, it was the headquarters of Dickie's gang. And it's a book about up the fields and the pitch. Now, he talks about a pitch which has intrigued me, because I'm actually much younger than he is. Of course, our pitch that we played on was known as the Nuns' Field. Now, it doesn't quite fit the description of his pitch, which is interesting, because it's all covered in concrete now, it's all covered in houses. But this part of the book, it's all about playing marbles, it's about playing rounders, spinning tops up and down the prom. Spinning tops up and down the prom. Geez, you wouldn't do it today. Conkers, swimming, all of the things that young boys did. It's also fair to say that this man was actually very accident prone. If you read, and when you read this book, there are quite a whole series of accidents related in it. The first one, happily, wasn't an accident. It was where he was, as he describes it, learning to fly. When he was about age 3, where he climbed down the third floor windowsill, and mercifully, Josie Owens came along, saw him actually from another building, and came rushing in, knocked on the door, said to his mother when he opened the door, and he came in and he rescued Josie Owens. There's another one where Dickie was climbing trees and he slipped, and a branch went up the back of his trousers, short pants, I have to admit, and he was impaled on this branch. He was left suspended. Now, I have to say, my imagination took a lot of reading this bit. It was thoroughly enjoyable. I have to say, very distracting. He couldn't score a goal without almost breaking his toe. When he got roller skates, he got the brilliant idea of catching onto the back rail of a bus without realising the bus was heading for Carrow Road. He actually stopped for quite a long way. He couldn't hear pencils without almost chopping his fingers. These are little incidents that make you wonder, is it safe to be around this very much. He moves on then to the flicks. Now this is, for anybody, this is bucket loads of nostalgia. The flicks, the wicks, the pictures. Mostly for Salthill fellas based in the story. Those magical Sunday afternoons, the follier-uppers, where always Buck Jones was left hanging off a cliff, or Kit Carson was tied to the railway tracks and the train was coming, and then it said, come back next week and see what happened to Kit Carson. And Dickie reintroduces us to the ones you forgot, you know, our gang and the East Side Kids and the Bowery Boys. Jeez, I'd love to see some of those all over again. And of course, the cowboys, the westerns. Now this was the days when you didn't walk home from the Astoria on a Sunday afternoon. You didn't cycle home, you didn't get the bus home, you went home. Galloping like this. And they were sort of magic, innocent days, really. This is a very busy book, I have to warn you, because he goes to the Bish, he joins the choir, he plays hurling, he plays football, he goes mass serving, he steals apples. All of these things, he jumps from one place to another. You actually wonder, how in the name of Jesus could all these things happen to one person in one lifetime? He goes to the Jez, the Jesuit school, Colosh the Ignaud Gaia. There's a remarkable, painful page in this book which describes going into Andy's office for slogs. It's absolutely incredible. It brought me right back. I could feel the feckin' pain, the leather on my hand. And he talks about some of the teachers. There are beautiful little pen pictures. Danny Griffin, whose son is here this evening,